Welcome to my Canines and Company YouTube channel. Decided to do this because my family, particularly my son, basically inspired me to do it. I started my school in 1992 in Whitehorse, Yukon, Canada. And it's been 32 years non-stop. And no matter where I go in the world, I just always find dogs to teach and people to help understand their dogs better and rescue some dogs that I can rescue. And this is my latest rescue. His name is Szemén. It means hope in Hungarian. He's a Hungarian Komondor, 5 years old. And I will take you along on the journey with this particular dog and probably will tell you all about my past 40 years of dogs and training in Europe, training in North America, and then eventually training around the world. Welcome to my channel. Hope you enjoy it. Don't take yourself too seriously because dog training is like cooking. Doesn't matter how you do it if it tastes good. So it doesn't matter how you do it if it's gonna give you the right result. Keeping in mind compassion, understanding and respect of animals, but also not humanizing them because they are dogs. We can start at the beginning about this dog. I was sitting in the kitchen 11:30 at night and my phone dinged and there was a message from a friend with a link that was about him. And I just had an inclination. I often listen to my instincts and I've always done it all my life when it came down to dog training, because I think a lot of it is instincts in terms of, how you relate to an animal. Nowadays in the Google world, people can just learn all kinds of things, and those things that they learn, somebody before them used their instincts and many error and trial and errors to come up with it and figure it out. And as a result, the people who look at it now appear to be a lot more knowledgeable, or not so much a lot more knowledgeable, but quickly rising to good results with dogs, and especially the dogs with good genetics. But if you go back a few decades, when before cell phones, before internet, and before all those things, really what we had, it was time, persistence, devotion, common sense and instincts and observation, how we learned about dogs particularly. And I think the same goes for every other craft that people had ever mastered. So I got this link and it was about this Komondor that needed an immediate rescue, and the owners had agreed to give up the dog, which, people can judge people all they want, but if somebody is willing to give up their dog because they realize that they can't give it the care that the dog needs, I respect that and I don't judge them, and maybe I can show them a way that in the future they shift their mindset about how to relate to a dog, how to keep them, and also what not to take on. Long story short, I messaged them in the middle of the night, the rescue organization, and I said, I am inquiring about the Komondor and could you give me some information about it? They messaged me back in the middle of the night, because what do rescue organizations do? They stay up or they answer their phones whenever it's needed, and they said, we'll call you tomorrow. And sure enough, someone called me the next day and we had a little conversation. I explained to them that I just lost my Komondor recently that I've noticed about this dog, and I got a message about him, and I like to know more about the dog. And they had very little information because this particular organization was helping in sharing the information about the dog, and they basically gave me the contact for the actual person who was in a closer vicinity to him. I waited for the phone call, which came very quickly after that, and then the conversation began. That at that time they thought the dog was about 3 years old, and all they knew was that it was on a farm. Luckily, he wasn't ever chained, and that made a big difference, I think, in terms of also getting him rehabilitated and getting somewhere. But the other aspects of the dog was, besides being a very good genetic material, the environmental, effects that the dog encountered in 5 years, actually 5 years old, definitely put the mark on him. You wouldn't tell right now, but this is only when things are calm and I'm here, then he's like this. But otherwise, he very quickly switches and reacts to things, which you will see down the road. Long story short, the lady said to me, can you come and get him? And I said, well, I can come in a week because I'm going to the World Championship, because the Dog Puller World Championship happened to be just a few days after this particular conversation. And I said, I don't know if it's a good idea to bring this dog to here and then I leave. Like, how's that work? And she said, well, yes, I understand, but the owners agreed to give him up, and it would be wise to take advantage of that. So I talked to my husband, and the only thing he said, we have too many dogs. And I'm like, too many dogs? Like, that's no such a thing as too many dogs. And I said, I already named him Hope. Or you hope that you're going to be able to afford to feed this dog another one. And I said, yeah, I'm going to feed him and I'm going to help him. And we need a good dog into the property. I'll tell you later on, I have this little organic farm, just a small one. And every dog has a job here. And we needed him for to being around the house. I said, okay, then I'm going to come and get him right now. So I got in a car and I started driving. Jön is én megyek Sarkadra, egy komondorért. And this is how Hope's journey began. I went there, I picked him up. We had a hard time catching him, but eventually it worked, and then placed him in the kennel, in the vehicle. I took my giant schnauzer with me. He's my scanner. He helps me. So this is how we started, and the journey is now begun. Click like, sign up or follow us. Thank you. See you next time.